Hello everyone. Today I'm playing with, I wanted to draw some little bells. So that's what I'm going to do today. These are my brushes. I think there's about 15 left. I think I'll use my 8 round. It's just so versatile. And for maybe some of the holly around it, I will use my angle brush because I can get some of those little pointed leaves. And I think that's good for today. All right, there we go. I will be using my Mylangs. These are the Paul Rubin Mylangs. You know, I love them. They're so rich and creamy and yet transparent. I'll put the link for Amazon for those. This is the large, a little bit larger set, has the metallics, but if you've got this set, that's perfectly fine as well. I just ordered a new set, so this one's pretty new, but it doesn't have the metallics with it. I've got my 2 containers of water. This too is Meeden. I love it. It's so nice and clean and white. Make sure you have one to wash and one to rinse. Really, really important with watercolors because they're so transparent. And then today I'm using my Micron pen. Any pen that is waterproof, of course, you can use. These pens are also very good. I even... the Microns, I even use, you know, my regular ballpoint sometimes, just so, excuse me, just so they're waterproof. The first thing I'm going to do is draw the bottom of my bell. So kind of this oval, 2 ovals. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. And then that bell shape. So coming across here with some of this bell shape. I'm leaving a little bit of room at the top for some holly, maybe some pretty berries, like that. And then maybe that little, the little ringing thing in there, just like that. And now for the holly. The way I typically will approach holly is, let me grab my other pencil here, the one I like with the eraser. 1 second. I just was painting and drawing over at the coffee shop, so it's in here. Here it is. So I'll use this one, and I like this one because it has the replaceable eraser. I tend to go through erasers really quick. This is another eraser that's really good because this lasts forever. This is the Mitsubishi Super Eraser. And you just keep unwinding it. It's really great. All right, for my holly, what I typically do is, well, let's draw our berries in front. Actually, I can do that in the pen because I know I want those. So we'll just draw some fun berries here. That'll be really vibrant and pretty. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to use my pencil because I want to add some little kind of guidelines. You know, I love my guidelines. So here's one. I'm going to have another one coming out right here, and then one right here. Now what I'll do is, there we go. And I'll draw over this with my marker so you can see. There we go. And we've got this one here. I don't know why. Holly, I used to really have a challenge with for some reason. Now I'm going to use my marker and draw that in. There we go. Now I might not normally use a marker. I wanted to do that though so you could see what kind of what I'm doing here. And using a marker actually does add a little bit of detail. I'm not a detail person, so I like that. And then maybe some little fun swirlies coming out. There we go. Okay, so we're ready to draw. I can erase my my pencil lines if I wanted to. I like using my ball eraser. 1 second, I'll grab that. metallics out. Here we go. Okay. So these ball erasers are really great if you want to lighten up some of those pencil lines. I apologize if my camera is shaking. Just gently, don't press too hard because you don't want to mess up that beautiful texture. This is that cold press 140 pound paper. So I try to be a little careful. All right, so I've got my bells here. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use that really bright turkey blue we all love, or if I wanted to, and they match my nails, or if I wanted to go for that bright pink that I also love. I think I will do these blue because I just love that blue color for winter. I think it's really pretty. I'm going to start with my 8 round brush, and let's just go into that turkey blue. I think we all just love this turkey blue color. Somebody told me they changed the color in one of their palettes and it looked like turkey blue. All right, so I'm gonna leave a white space maybe just in front using the side of my brush. This is wet, by the way, on dry. And now I'll go in with a little bit of water. I dab my brush. There we go. Just leaving some white space in there. You can definitely tap in with a little bit darker blue. I don't want to get too fussy here. There we go. Ooh, I love that color. All right. This icy blue would be really pretty as well. And then here's our next one. And I'm going to just be kind of careful here not to tap into the one I just drew. Now this is coming straight out of the palette. That's why it looks a little bit darker. But I'll go in with a damp brush and just pull that out a little bit. There we go. And I love this washy look. So wetting my brush. That's just me. I'm not a big hard line person. And look at that beautiful, beautiful kind of soft look. All right, let's go on to our green holly here. I looked up last year the difference between holly and mistletoe. There is a difference. I think this might be actually called mistletoe because of those pointed leaves. All right, so I go in with the tip of my brush. And I love this green. You probably have your own favorite green. This is sap green, and that lighter green, leaf green, I think it's called. There we go. I'm leaving a lot of white space because what I'm going to do is wash and rinse my brush, tap it off, and then I'll just go in and kind of soften all those lines. And at the same time, I'm going to add a tiny bit of olivey green in there. And let that kind of spread around. Just for some interest. And look how pretty. It did blend a little bit there because this must have been a little damp. I'm not real worried about that. Wash and rinse my brush and go back into, pick up some of that lighter green I started with. And we'll just do the same thing. So I'm going in and laying down some of that green. And then I'll go in with a damp brush and just kind of get rid of all those hard lines. So wash, rinse, tap off my brush, and go in and just smooth out those lines. And now I'll go in with that darker green, which is more of an olivey green. You could use emerald green, just for some interest right around those bells. Maybe the tips of the leaves, even the stem, or the veins rather. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that lovely? Okay. Boy, that red, when we get that red in here, it's gonna pop. Okay, this one leaf here is behind this one, so it's gonna be probably a little darker. I'm being careful not to totally touch right up to that leaf because it is a little bit wet. Not a big deal, you know, I don't freak out if it does happen. Using the tip of my brush, really light pressure, resting my hand here. I've seen people paint and they hover. I can't do that. My hand's too shaky. Always has been. And then I'm gonna grab some of that darker green, which really we could have even added. Let's add some of that blue into the green. Ooh, look how pretty that is. That blue green. Really pretty. I love that. I love that even more than the olive green. That's gorgeous. So you could go in and just add some of that blue green. And it really, again, like when I do flowers, I always add some of my flower color into my greenery because, so they're thirsty brush, because it kind of brings a coherency between all of the elements. Now I think for the inside of my bells, I'm going to make those a little bit deeper in color. And I think actually what I will do there, let's do this. Let's use that olive green. Got some in my palette here, and some of that blue, and really get a deep, dark blue. You could almost use Prussian blue, but I want to mix the greens and the blues, and let's use that. So also, this is a darker value, meaning I've got about 80% pigment, 20% water. And using, again, that beautiful tip on that brush, and just go in and line this. I'm gonna go around that little, the little dinger, I don't know, what do you call that thing? That rings. And we'll do that in gold. Oh, look at that, isn't that pretty? I feel like I need a little bit more blue in there. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love how watercolors spread like that. Love it. Let's do this one here. And I am leaving, if you notice, some white space in there. So pretty. Oh my gosh. Love it. What I love about watercolors is it's not just one flat color. Like I've got some lighter elements here, really dark elements here. Love the washiness of everything. Just so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go in now and do my little berries, and I'm gonna make them this bright red here. And just go in with the side of my brush. Oh, you know what? I was actually going to try and show you how I could use the angle brush for those, but that's okay. All right, let's go in, leaving some white highlight spaces in there. Look at the beautiful colors in here. Let's add in just a tiny bit of that purpley violet color. Ooh, that would be pretty. Maybe this one. Oh yeah, I like that. So pretty. And I'm going in with a pretty dark value on those. Isn't that gorgeous? Leaving lots of white space. just for interest, because if we just did them all a flat color, that would be kind of not so interesting. All right, I'm going to take a little bit more of that dark green and blue we created and just go in here and add a tiny bit of a shadow. So using the side of my brush point, look at that. Isn't that fun? And then maybe a little bit of a shadow under here. Yeah, that really creates that fun interest. Love it. All right, I'm almost done. I'm going to do this little green squiggle here. Let's get some of our green. And just use that tip of my brush. And when I'm trying to have a lot of control, I will hold my brush right at the end of the ferrule here. When I want a little bit more freedom and squiggle, I will back my hand up a bit, so it can kind of freely move like that. Now, I didn't follow that line exactly, not real worried about that. And what we could do here is go in with maybe, let's find our mirror series here, my MAB mirror series, of course, as you know, my favorite. I'm going to give it just a little to dampen it a bit. And I think I want to do some blue splatters. So let's grab some of that turkey blue. Being kind of careful with this because that blue is blue, guys. And let's do some splatters. Oh, look how pretty. This would even be pretty with gold or silver splatters. And actually, we should do those little dinger things on the inside there in gold. I had already added some water to this, so I don't need to do that again. I was using these this morning. And I'm going to go in and do this. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that fun? These would be such a pretty card. I love these colors. I'm really into this blue right now. It just looks so Christmassy to me. We could add a tiny bit of that onto these leaves. Yeah, I love when I paint leaves to add a tiny bit of sparkle to some of the veins and the tips. I think it's really, really pretty. And it makes your viewer take a second look, I think. Like, ooh, did I see a sparkle there? There we go. So fun. We could add just a tiny bit of gold to our bell if you want. You could also use, let's try the mirror series. I don't know if I've ever used both in one painting. So let's try that. See what that does. Oh yeah, that's kind of fun. That's it. That's all I'm going to use. And I think I'm pretty much done. I hope you give this a try. I just can't say enough about that beautiful blue color. I love, love, love it. And actually the shadow could be on this side because I was kind of thinking the light was coming from this direction. But with this shadow being under there, you could also shadow in this side, just the very edge there. Because of course, if the light was coming from this side, this wouldn't be shadowed, right? So we could shadow each side just a little bit, maybe with some of that green, like that. And just soften that edge a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that. All right, everybody, have fun. Most of all, play. And I hope you're making your Christmas cards this year. I use a lot of those Strathmore cards. They're watercolor cards. And what I love about them, I don't have one in front of me right now, but the envelope is like a deckled edge, and I just love it. I think it's so pretty. And I will link these MABs, which I've been using for over a year. Of course, the My Lang palette by Paul Rubens, I love. And thanks for being here in my little community. All right, everybody, I'll see you soon. Happy painting.